Hello. Not quite sure where I'm supposed to look for this, but hey ho, I'm sure it'll work out in the end. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? What am I doing? I am going to be sharing thing. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I? I'm going to be sharing how to use the Stampin' Up scoreboard to create some simple, fun folds on the metric plate. Just remember, this is for the metric plate, not the imperial one. So I'm going to turn you around because I can't quite work out where I'm supposed to look, and you don't want to look at me anyway. Let's see what we've got going on here, shall we? Where's the turning round button? It's hi, Lozzie. Oh, I'm glad someone's with me. That's better. Okay, so let's get this back in the stand so we can see what we're doing. Hi, Kay. Nice to see you. Oh, trying to get it in the stand. Can we see it in the stand? Oh, I've got a cup of tea here. I'm all organised except for I can't get on. Let me just see if I can get onto the where I'm supposed to be. There it is. Sorry, I was talking about the laptop, trying to get things sorted out, but it's a bit tricky. Okay, I do have a lamp on here today because I want to show you some markings on my Simply Scored board. Now, this is the metric plate. It comes off and you purchase it separately. Hi, Ali. And it's a bit confusing when you first look at it because you've got 1 through 15 with no ½ centimetre marks. But from 15 onwards, they're marked every ½ centimetre. And I thought, well, that's a bit strange. And then I looked really, really closely, and engraved in them are some secondary measurements. 26 millimetres, 37 millimetres, 52.5 millimetres, 7.4 millimetres, 74 millimetres, 105 millimetres. And I thought, okay, hi Lynn, what's this all about then? And then I had a little play and I discovered with some simple pieces of A5 cardstock, you can make some really fab fun folds. It's not fancy, schmancy, but it is worth it. So this is just a piece of vanilla cardstock that measures, hi Becky, it measures 14.85 by 21. So I put it in and straight away I have a 10.5, which makes my standard C6 card base. Woohoo! Very handy. If you're mass producing, if you're making a lot, which we all do at this time of year, that could be very useful. Or if you're like Jill, hi Brenda. Oh, Ontario. Nice of you to join us. Oh, I don't suppose it's as cold here as it is where you are, but it's got chilly here.
I don't know,
Canada can be a bit warmer than, it can be much colder than here because you have snow and we have like little few flakes and then we panic. But anyway, back to the card bases. Yes, those score marks are really handy. So you can make mass-produced cards really quickly, or do what I was about to tell you Jill does, which is get a whole pack of cardstock, cut it all in half, sit and score it all, and she has her card bases made. So if she were to cut everything and then get her scoreboard out, she could do that in record time. So what are these other marks? Well, that is, move it across, make sure it's butted up. That is my 10.5. Half of 10.5 is 5.25. So I've now got a very simple Z-fold card. Much easier, much quicker, and again, if you're doing multiples, much faster. But the real reason I really, really liked it was because I could do a gatefold card, which if you follow our Facebook page or blog, you will see that I did on Friday a gatefold card so easily, no awkward measurements, super simple, fits every time, no fuss, no bother. Now, so we've now got a Z fold, a gatefold. What else can we do with that? Well, this is with my 14.85 by 21 centimetres. Okay, what else can I do? I've got a little library of them here. Let me just check I've done the right ones. This fold, I don't quite know what to call it, but I was looking at these measurements and I thought 2.6. Why would I want 2.6? 2.6. If I go 5.5 and then 2.6, I have some nice narrow panels. Well, that's why I was totally impressed. I thought it was brilliant because I could now get my gatefolds perfect every time. So I've got 2.5, which I'm using here, and 2.6, which I've got here, and I've done it on both sides. So I'm going to fold concertina. So I'm going to do a mountain, then a valley on both sides, keeping in mind that I still have my full 10.5 centimetres by 14.85 height there. But now I have a standing diorama style card. I could cut a circle out of there or a shape out of there, and that will stand up perfectly. And if I make two like that, I can stick them together and have perfectly aligned for a full-on diorama card. Now, I'm not going to make all of these cards today. I was more interested in playing around and trying to get the measurements so you could do them. I thought that was really cool. So, as you know, I do a lot of my cards what I call a temp fold, which is when I have a piece of cardstock that measures 10.5 centimetres by 29.7, which is the full length of the card. Now, there is no marking on here for the 14.85, which is a little sad, made me a little sad. So I do need to bring my trimmer back in to fold my card base there. So let me just put that score line in. But what it does have that I found quite valuable was the 7.4 line. So this 7.4 score, I've just gone off the score line there, not to worry. This won't show up too badly. This will give me the perfect Z-fold in that orientation. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I think that was great. Then I looked at it again and I thought 3.7. Isn't that half of 7.4? Let's try that. So I put it back in and I did this score line here. I now have this rather unusual looking fold. I don't know what to call it, but it looked really nice. And then I thought, okay, if I turn that like that, that stands nicely. If I go like that, that's a bit awkward, that's a bit awkward. No, it's just that way. But I do like it because think of the opportunities for pattern paper on here and still have something coming up. You could have a piece of card there that will come out at you, make a nice pop out. I thought that was a bit of fun. So what have we got? We've got gatefolds, we've got Z folds, all using, and diorama cards using our scoreboard. So we have some card bases to choose from. In fact, I have a large pile sitting on the laptop keyboard at the moment. So let me move on to this. I have drawn, I don't know if you can see, I have drawn with a Sharpie down the middle of one of my lines. Do not do what I have done, which is made a mistake, and I have put it at ½ centimetre line instead of a full centimetre line. But, you know, it's fun. We'll play with it. The reason I did put the mark in was so that I could create diagonal score lines. If you're trying to measure on a score line, it gets tricky. Trying to get that up there and make sure it's in the right one. It can go off if you're like me. You struggle. So this way, I have a black mark. Can you see? I don't know if you can see. I can't see myself on the laptop at the minute. So I can't tell. Can you see the end of my black line? What is going on today? My usual chaos with the computer. Nothing new there. No, it's not wanting to play the game. Let me see if I can see myself.
Basically frozen.
Oh, have I frozen? Hi, Lizzie. You can indeed, Jill. You can indeed. And I will probably go back and do that. Jill has said about using StazOn remover to get rid of the line. But for now, I'm going to carry on with it. So let me just move those bits out of the way and see if I can get that so that you can actually see the top and the bottom. It's too high. It's too close. But what this does enable me to do, you're going to have to trust me, is by drawing the line straight through there, I can now see where it is there at the top. Hi, Fiona. And down there, hi. Sorry, I can't see the name clearly. Randy. So I can score from the top to the bottom because I have a black line that tells me I need to stay on that score line. So I can go all the way down without making a mess. And I know that that is correct. Now I can count across then 1, 2 centimetres and score, and that will be exactly 2 centimetres all the way across. And I'm going to do that 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting the grooves, and because they're in ½ centimetres, I'm going 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to emboss this whole piece of cardstock. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to give me a lovely quilted finish. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I hear you shout, what about the other side? Well, I just count 1, 2, 3, 4. And go down. You can do it every centimetre, every ½ centimetre, whatever size you like. I'm doing this for speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you like precision, this is going to be really up your street. Now, because I'm going across to this side that doesn't have the ½ centimetre lines, I need to just move mine across one little grip, one little line, which is fine because it's now embossed. I can actually feel it as I push it across. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can continue every 2 lines on the other side, all you have to do is remember to be careful of these odd ones that are here. So I'm not going to need any more there. Now I have a lovely, one side has ridges, the other side is debossed. Now I'm going to continue with my debossed side because you could mix it up any way you like. So we started by putting that point and that point, and we've scored that way. Now all I'm going to do is rotate it to the other corner and line them up again, putting it in there, running it all the way through, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. You do have to, I find that you do have to be quite careful when you start your scoring off. 1, 2, 3, 4. I prefer to actually go from inside rather than dragging it down first of all, so that the edges of the card have a nice feel. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't actually even need to count now because I am going to be going where the score mark is already in place.
Yeah, so it's really good to use the scoreboard like that and measure.
Oh, thank you. No more faffing. You know the rules. No faffing. Thanks, Andrea, for the nice technique. Okay, so we're going to continue over the other side. We've got our score line lined up again. Make sure it's in the slot. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Follow it down. You can do it a couple of times. I am using the smaller ball of the tool. The tool comes with a small ball and a bigger ball because we don't want to go through pattern paper. We would always use the bigger ball tool to ensure we don't rip the paper, but with cardstock we can be a little firmer. So we're now going to move this across so that it's sitting, so that I can use the other side. I mean, you could just turn it around. Look, I've gone completely offline there. How bad is that? Let's try that again, shall we? I'm not too panicked about all of this, but what I need to do is go back to my centre part and find that score line again. There we go. 1 and 2, we're nearly finished now. 1 and 2, missing out some of those odd measurements. But now I have a piece of paper that I have created that has texture on both sides. Can you see? This is the embossed side. This is the debossed side. Now, I have made in advance. I sat there very patiently and did it every centimetre. And I thought, oh, that's so pretty. I could put little gems in on all the cross points. Oh, that's going to be a pain having all of those. So, and then I remembered I had some metallic enamel effects. And I thought, oh, takes a practice. I mean, they're not all perfect. They're not all the same size. But I do think that is a very rich look. Don't you? So I have those two pieces. They do take a little moment to dry, so do keep that in mind, that all you need to do, shake it down and straight up, and it will find its own level to make the little balls, like little pearls. And then I thought you could go back to this one. See, my hands are a bit shaky now, so not the best person to be doing this, but you get the idea. a great way to have a very luxurious effect, I think. And if you do get a little tail that comes out like that one I've got just there, all I did was just gently bring it back up, which is why I have gold on my hands. So you can make that pattern yourself. So you have the choice of doing it. This is every centimetre. That is every 2 centimetres. I think the pattern's gorgeous. It reminds me of those posh handbags. I can't think of the name of them now, but they are lovely. Now, I do have some more ideas. We're talking sentiments. This time of year, we want to make cards that particularly are, thank you. What can you do with them? What these panels, I would use these as for my card. I'd cut that and put that on there. In fact, shall we do that now? So we know this is a 5.25, so I need to cut this into 2 pieces of 4.75. So I'll bring out my little trimmer, my trusty trimmer, and we will go to 4.75, which in American is 1 7/8. And I will need to find a cutting blade. My cutting blade is reaching the end of its usefulness, and it keeps popping out of the channel. As you can see. Now, that, because of the depth, isn't cutting all the way through because of the knobbly bit. But that's okay, I have a plan. But I do need to get this one measured the same way. I'm going to pop my blade back in. And then I'm going to move that out of the way and bring in my faithful little guillotine. I don't know, do you all have a piece of cool panels? They are cool. Well, I think they are. I think they're absolutely stunning. So there we go. There's one. Dots down. Now that is a good idea. Yes, I didn't think of that, but very sensible suggestion. Dots down would be good. So let me just finish this one off. The other alternative is, of course, that you do your pattern panels, then you do your dots, leave them to dry, and then attach them. But of course, I wouldn't be me if I did anything the right way round first time, would I? Well, they're a little, they need to be 0.5 centimetre shorter. Let's try Becky's suggestion of the other side over. Let's try that. So we're going to line that up to the 0.5 centimetre mark. I've lost the blade again. Oh my days, this thing and I are going to have a real falling out. In fact, we will be having a falling out because it will be going in the bin. Yes, much better. Good suggestion, Becky. I will be treasuring that one. So line that up at 0.5 centimetre as well. But I still would recommend actually cutting your panels to the right size beforehand. But I've been out this afternoon and I wanted to get some, because they take time to dry. I wanted them done. So we now have our panels. Let's place those on our card. It should fit neatly on top. We're just making a little simple gatefold, but we're going to make it look very posh with all these gold pearls on it and all this amazing texture from the scoreboard. There we are. So we've got those. Now we need something to go on the front. What to go with them? I picked up a stamp set before I came and sat down. and it's one I haven't opened and played with yet, but I thought this is very traditional and I'm loving that. I thought, wouldn't it be beautiful to have some of these images on there? But I don't want to overpower the outside. So I thought, how, see, I haven't even opened the stamp set. It's not even, look, it's still as new. I have no idea what the sizes are. Let's have a look at this. What do we reckon? I quite like the idea of putting the sentiment on the front and keeping this very, very simple on the inside. And I think maybe a little bit of stamping for the inside we could do. So, but I'm going to, what I was starting to show was these. So my sentiment, I'm going to make myself a little sentiment mat. Let's put the glue lid on before I put it everywhere. So let's work out how big my sentiment is going to be. I'm just using it as a ruler now. So I'm going to go for 24. So that's going to be 9 centimetres by 9 by 6. Let's trim that up. Get my guillotine, my trimmer out. 9 by 6. So 6 centimetres. By 9. Or should we make it 10? Let's just make it 10, just to be on the safe side. You can always change it. So I need a block. I need a block that's long enough for that. And I'm going to lay that on there. I'll line that up to the grid line there so I can get some kind of idea that this is going to be straight. Can't guarantee, but it's going to be good. Thank you, Mumsy. Okay, now, so I have this, I have this, I have that. I'm going to go with Early Espresso ink because I'm using gold and vanilla and I just like it. I'm going to pop a mat underneath because I can't stamp onto there, but I don't want to get rid of the scoreboard just yet. New stamps, so first things, good ink up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, press down, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that looks very smart. Good inking up, sorry I'm not showing you. Close the ink pad up so I don't end up with it everywhere. And then I'm going to place this the other side, because I've just got a dirty mark on that bit, in the middle of my label. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, look, I've done a doo-doo on it. Do you know what? We're going to go with that side because I think 10 is perhaps too long. Let's try again. Try and keep it as straight as I can and as equal. 1, 2, 3. That's better. See, we all make mistakes, but we all know how the magic of cardstock, it has 2 sides. So let me just trim that off. We're going to make that 9.5, not 10, so we can get rid of the mark and it will fit a little better on the paper card as well. So I now have my stamped image on a plain piece of white card. Now that looks just plain boring. We don't want that. We have our scoreboard in our hands. So what are we going to do with it? I have just put the card down all over the blobs I had done. So I have made a real mess. Move it the other way, Carrie, not this way. So what am I going to do with this on my scoreboard? Well, I'm going to make a mark. I'm going to use my piece of card. I'm going to line it up so that it can be 1 centimetre. So I have a piece of card here that I know is 1 centimetre wide, and I have a score there that's 1 centimetre, and I'm just going to move that there so it's in line, and I'm going to start there, making sure that's butted up, and I'm going to go all the way down till I come to my other piece of cardstock. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to put my cardstock in. I'm starting from, can you not see? Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Can you see now? That better? So I've got my, this is a strip of cardstock that's 1 centimetre, and I'm lining it up so that it's 1 centimetre in and 1 centimetre down. I'm then just going to find the groove, and I'm going to bring this over again, and I'm going to take the groove down to there. So I have now got 2 lines that are debossed down there. So I'm going to go back in, line this up, and this time I'm just going to follow the groove. I am making a right pig's ear of this. In this thing, we're creating an embossed frame. Yes, it's nothing fancy smancy, but it is just a little idea that I thought would add a little touch to your project. And you can go in at the 1/2 centimetre mark and do it at a 1/2 centimetre as well. So you can create a crossover effect. Onto panel as well. Now, can you see those lines that I've just created? It's very simple, very plain, but gives a little touch of something to the card. I hope that makes sense, and I hope I haven't done anything too confusing. It doesn't take a lot. I'm very confused. Could of course put that on anything, and then we can just, you can put that on the inside if you wish. Keep it very simple on the front, but I think I prefer having the sentiment on the front. And then to get that to stick with all my little pearly bits, I would bring in my mini dimensionals when I can find the little blighters. Where are you? I think I've run out, which is why they're in the packet in the drawer, not in my basket. See, I'm getting that gold stuff everywhere as well. Got it all over me. So I'm going to take my dimensionals. These are the mini ones from Stampin' Up. They're tiny little ones. And I'm going to just place the 3D foams in between the gems so that I'm roughly working where I want it to attach. They will hold my panel, my sentiment panel, in place. If I was doing this without being on screen, I'm sure I could come up with lots more fun ideas than this, but this is what I'm doing for now. So keep your 1 centimetre scraps, they're helpful in lots of ways. Now, as always, these small ones, put your nail in the centre and they come off a treat. Now, if you are like some of our lovely ladies that join us for our crafting sessions and your eyesight isn't the best, in fact we have a couple of ladies who are completely registered blind, this would be a perfect card to give to somebody who is whose sight was bad, because they could, texture is great. Now that was a fudge, so what we're going to do, we're going to get another piece of card, we would cover it up like that so you couldn't see, but basically that's what I would do for the front of that card. You could put ribbon around it and tie it in a bow, whatever you like. These panels are very textural. So that's one card idea using the scoring. I do like the idea of taking, oh, I've got the gold paint everywhere now. I'm going to have to give this thing a clean, aren't I? I do love the idea of taking a sentiment and making a bespoke frame for it using the scoreboard. And that would work super well for the Americans as well, with your inches, or if you're an inches girl, on the standard platform. And as does the tip of putting the black line down so you can do your diagonals. That works beautifully as well. Let's go back to that. Can you see where I put the made a real mess? But I want yes, I want that piece. Let's cut that. Let's make a panel for the front of a card there. Make that out the way. I'm going to go for 10.5. So that's the whole of the front of a piece of card. Just like that. I think that on its own, with nothing else on it, is really attractive. And I really fancy this Father Christmas chappy being on there. So can you see how that just fitting on there gives that so much? Oh, I don't know if you can see or not. It gives it so much dimension. And then we could stamp Father Christmas, St. Nicholas, and we could stamp him. I think I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to take the board away. I don't need it anymore. I'm just going to throw the camera around. There we go. I'm going to put that to there, that to there. I'm going to get this guy out, this St. Nick, and I'm going to put that onto a piece of card. Oh, will he fit on there? Look at that, he fits on there perfectly. We just need a larger block to put him on, because we don't want him swimming around. So we've got our block. We're going to do my usual trick of lining him up onto the grid paper through the block. Please, if you're happier putting the stickers on, please do so. This is my choice not to, but everybody has their own way of doing things. So we have that. I'm going to keep using my Early Espresso ink because I like it. Tap, tap, tap all over. Let's give him a practice run. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Oh, lovely. Very vintage looking. Oh, I've just had a thought. Vintage. Now, vintage is good. We like vintage, don't we? Well, I know a lady who does, and that lady is called Kay. 1, 2, 3. So I've got a simple image to go on the front of there, but I need something round the outside. So back comes my scoreboard. Where's my score tool gone? Oh well, what have I done with that? There it is. I'm going to bring the scoreboard back, but this time I'm just going to pop this face down so I can't see the image, because I want the line to be embossed, not debossed. So I'm going to do it a 0.5 centimetre mark. So I'm going to go over this side, line it up there, and I'm just going to go on the 0.5 centimetre lines all the way around. Let's give this a little bit of texture, making sure I'm lined up. So now I just have him sat there. But one thing I did notice that I really not keen on is when I cut the paper, I ended up with a little bird edge. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and fold those back down. I'm going to grab a blending tool. I'm going to use a brush, an old brush, and I'm going to bring in not that one, I'm going to bring in crumb cake. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of ink and blend very gently around the edges and over the score line, so that when it goes on the background we've made, it will stand out a little bit. Not going for huge heaps of colour. I just want a little light touch. Just like that. So that when I put him on here, he stands out a little bit. The other thing I could do, because that's going to go like that, I could add colour here to go around the edges there, but I quite like that just being the highlight. So now what am I going to do? Well, I think what I would quite like to do is not a lot. I quite like the fact that he's like that. Do I colour him in? Do you know what I am? I'm going to use my blends and I'm going to colour him in. I'm going to use crumb cake. I'm keeping in the crumb cakes and browns themes. What's this one? What does this look like? This is a numbered one, SU 600. Not sure what colour that is. Oh, that's quite dark. Don't like that. I prefer this, I think. It works nicely together. I do like the colours together. Okay, let's use this. So I'm just going to do his coat in the light crumb cake. Very simply. And the top of his hat. And in his coat. Again, colouring and talking is very tricky. Particularly when you're trying to do something swiftly. So this is not the best colouring in you'll ever see. I'm sure that most of you can do much neater colouring. In fact, I know for a fact that the lovely Kay is a fantastic colourer, and is Andrea. Just a little highlight there and Lizzie, of course, if she's still with us. She's very good at her colouring ins too. There we go. I'll just put a little bit there, a bit there, a bit down there. I am literally following the lines that are on the stamp, just to add, using a darker shade of the same colour, going back over it with the lighter colour. So I always leave the lid on at one end so that I can make sure I've got some idea of where I'm going. And just putting the colour down and colouring onto onto vanilla cardstock does give your colours a different, slightly subtler hue. So I'm going to leave the lid off the light one. I'm going to bring in the 600 and I'm going to use the 600 for his boots. It has a lovely coppery tone. And I'm going to put a little bit of the crumb cake over the top just to bring it down a little bit. There we go, because of course he would be wearing his brown leather boots. I'm going to leave all the white bits, the vanilla bits, vanilla. He's going to have some brown gloves to coordinate with his boots, of course. And there we go, there's his other glove. So this is supposed to be all about the scoreboard, and here I am colouring in, nothing new there. So we're going to give him a brown bag. And there we go. And the toy sack. No, we're not going to do the toy sack in that brown. We're going to use the dark crumb cake. That's it. Now, if I had more time, of course, I would colour in the toys if I wanted to. But I'm not going to, because I'm just going to put that on there like that. And then I would find the sentiment from inside this stamp set. With joy, peace and love. Let's just stamp that. I think that's the right one. I'm not very good at reading upside down and back to front, but hey ho. It's going to fit on that nice piece of scrap I have there. Let's line that up on my grid paper. Grab me Daily Espresso again and stamp it onto my small panel. 1, 2, 3. And there we have it. And that, I think, is enough from me for today. I think you've all been very patient. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget, have a look at your scoreboard. Check out what the lines are. You're here watching quietly. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mumsy. I hope you're okay, Lizzie, and work isn't too busy. There's 2 simple cards using the scoreboard. Both fun folds created using the scoreboard. Top tip, scoreboard for your gatefolds is a game changer as far as I'm concerned. This makes a very easy fun fold. The background is super easy to create. I haven't stuck this together. I will go back in and finish this and post a picture later. But oh, it's been 50 minutes. I think that's more than enough time. No, let me see. What I could do is go in with the... No, because in that pack comes silver and copper. I could add some copper dots to this one. The metallic enamel effects to bring out the copper of his bag and his boots. So many things you could do. Anyway, more than manic watching you is some company. And oh, thank you. I'm sorry you're having such a tough day, Lizzie. Thank you, Becky. I've enjoyed making these samples. Don't forget, they're not samples. They are just playing around, creating new fun folds using my scoreboard. We've got this diorama style there. We've got a new zigzag tab there. And we have the gatefold. And we have the traditional zigzag beautifully scored on our scoreboard. So, don't forget you can make your panels. You can do them any sizes you want. Both sides are good. That's enough. That's enough. Shut up, Carrie. I can hear you all crying. That's it from me. Take care, my lovelies. Thank you for joining me. Look after yourselves. Bye-bye.